Okay, so good evening. It is Thursday night here in RBS. It is the first time I've recorded here on Thursday night. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe because I'm busy or tired or whatever. Tomorrow I'm going to the Kotel, as we say here, and trying to see if I can get on the bicycle. The weather's supposed to be nice tomorrow. Sorry, New Yorkers, I had to say that. So trying to see if we can. So here we are trying to do the Torah at night, see if we can pull it together. So, going through the parsha this week, one of the things that kind of hit me because everyone talks about Kriyas Yam Suf, Kriyas Yam Suf, and you have the water, you have a Malik, you have the Mun, and we're learning more Einayim this year, Nachum of Chernobyl, and it goes right to the Mun. There's no leaving Mitzrayim, there's no Yam Suf, not, no Malik, nothing about water. It's really all about the Mun. And I was kind of so someone made a comment. I think it was Yossi Friedman says, just jump right into Mun. I'm like, yeah, so interesting. Yeah, it's nothing about Az Yashir. There's crazy amount of midrashim. There's crazy amount of Torah on. We say it every day. Obviously, it's so important. If you have in mind, you're so happy with it. It's like you're crossing the. It's just really a powerful Az Yashir. Shab Shira. Some shuls, Sukkot Zimra, we say it pasuk by pasuk, and special tune when you're laying. Huge. It's a big deal. But Maranayim doesn't touch it at all. Nothing. Zippo. Gunished. Really. So the question is, which is bigger? That's kind of the question that was kind of bothering me. I was thinking about the whole week. Come on, the whole week. Is the Mun bigger? Is Kriyas Yam Suf bigger? What's the miracle in this parsha? They leave Mitzrayim. You have this huge going against Teva, water. They're drowning. Only Paro's left. Well, that's pretty big. Wait, the Mun, 40 years, one omer of food, and you were full. And it took you a long time to gather it, or a little time, and it got spoiled. And Friday was twice. That's a big deal. 40 years of that. Chris House was once. And the other, so maybe Mun was bigger. On the other hand, Yisro hears about Chris Yam Suf, doesn't know about the Mun. So which is bigger? Which is what's we can kind of talk about this at the Shabbos table. What's the bigger deal? So the idea is really what they're trying to accomplish. Really, I think that's kind of what the answer would be. Li Mitzrayim, the people still thought that they were slaves, so you needed this huge earth-changing event, not just saved us, but took down Mitzrayim, because now we're done with Paro. And Mun was something that's really internal, something smaller, something slower, something a little different. So that's kind of really how you kind of want to look with this. One way to kind of put this, like I said, is to look at the Yam Suf as this rescue. We're being, about to be killed. And this was a big rescue that kind of separates Mitzrayim from Hashem. And this is kind of where we are. And the next phase is just being with Hashem, living with Hashem, the day-to-day parnasa, the day-to-day living with, what you have, not sweating over work, really kind of having Hashem take care of us. And that idea is something that not just was then, but it's now as well. So that kind of really is what we're talking about here. You want to talk about that the Mun is also every day. I also saw in the Sefer that people say Tfilas Haman every day. So I said, let me take a look at that. That's actually a pretty long piece. Some people Tuesday, they say Tfilas Haman Tuesday, but actually the Shalach Kadosh. But really, some people say it every day. But it's actually it's like 30 psukim, not so small. But some people say it every day because the Moranim says this is something that we need every day. This is not something that, oh my gosh, people left Mitzrayim 40 years. They needed the Mun. We Yeah, it's not that important. That lesson not important. It's lost on us. We don't need that lesson. But the truth is, that's not the case. Moranayim thinks it's maybe more. We're more materialistic. And this is why Hashem says to Moshe, take Sinsenis Haman, put it in the Aron. Man Yiru, they should see this. Yilmadu, they should know this. That's not on bread alone. What? Why is it so important? They didn't put water from the Yam Suf in it or sand, the Mun. Because I think we're past the area of Avodah Zarah. I think we're past the phase where we have to be taught about Hashem. We're kind of past that. There's no Yetzer Avodah Zarah anymore. We're not. We don't think Paro, the prime minister of Egypt. We don't think he's a god. So I think we're kind of covered in that way that we don't need a Kriyas Yamsuf to get us to think about Hashem. They needed that. That's important for them. So that's a once in a lifetime event for those people that were kind of starting off from nothing, no Torah, no mitzvos, 200 years as slaves. So Kriyas Yamsuf was something to kind of solidify that Hashem is God. That was that. The Mun is a little different. The Mun is every day. Every day we got to think about where our bread's coming from. Every day we have to think about that. The shefa, your boss is kind of this jar. It's incenus. And, the shefa is from Hashem. The boss is a jar. Your paycheck is the jar. It all comes from Hashem. And that's kind of this lesson that we have every day, literally every day. And it's an interesting story to kind of understand this idea. I saw today the Megalia Mukos from the mid 1500s from Krakow. Talks about a really interesting idea. He was a Rav of the town, Krakow, and he's about to leave the town. And they made this, an event. I don't know what they did. They did something. All of a sudden, he decides a week later or a little bit after, I'm not leaving. So they kind of understand what do you mean you're not leaving? You told everyone you're leaving town. What changed? And Megali Mukos says this idea, Rav Nata. He says that he had this court case, and here's two people. He has a kollel guy and a rich guy. And the rich guy sees this kollel guy in the marketplace selling stuff. And the rich guy says, I am going to spot you. I'm going to pay for you. You don't have to go to the market anymore. I will give you money. You can sit and learn Torah all day and all night. And kachaya, that's what they do. They make an arrangement, shake hands, and the kollel guy doesn't have to go to work, doesn't go to the marketplace, gets up in the morning, goes right to kollel, is there all day. Fantastic. And a little time goes by, a week, a month goes by. There's rumors this kollel guy is back. They spotted him in the Merkaz, in the shuk. What? And that's what happens. The rich man sees the kollel guy, and now he wants to get out of the deal. And the kollel guy says, "No, we made a deal." And the rich guy says, "Well, you said you'd learn Torah all day." And the guy goes, "Well, I am learning Torah." So they go to the court case, and the kollel guy says, "This is the arrangement. You don't understand what my idea of going to the marketplace was." And they said, "What do you mean?" And the kollel guy says, "Before I had my stuff taken care of me, I used to daven every day that Hashem should take care of my parnasa so I can go learn. So part of davening was to think about my job. You know something? If I can sell all my wares and make, I don't know, 100 rubles or 100 whatevers, and that's enough for the day or the week, then I can go learn now." And that's what the kollel guy says. And the kollel guy says, now that my stuff's taken care of me, I don't have that anymore to daven for. You know what? Rich guy's going to send me a check. I can go learn. Yes, I'm learning more Torah, but this idea, this concept of relying on Hashem, don't have it anymore. And this is something that I want back. And the kollel guy says, and that's what I did. I daven, Hashem let me sell enough that I can kind of take the rest of the day to go learn. And that's what we do. And this idea that the parnasa comes from Hashem, and in a good way. We want to have free time, whether it's to learn Torah, whether it's to take it easy, go see your kids, I don't know, go see a basketball game or something with the kids, things like that. Some people make a lot of money and they're wiped out, all this effort. And some people can be happy and satisfied with half a day at work, 6 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours, and the rest of the day they can go learn or relax, things like that. And that's kind of what we want. It's not just davening for money. We're davening it the way that we should get the money in a way that we can kind of now focus more on Hashem. And these are the things we have to daven for. And this is the idea of the mun. And Mar Naim has this idea is that not the question's a bad question. Maybe it is. Maybe you think it's a silly question. But it's not big, small, or whatever. It's just steps to getting somewhere. Jewish people leave Mitzrayim, then nothing. Kura Barzel, they were kind of wiped out, then nothing. How do you get 0 to Mountain Torah in 7 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it is? I think Marav Shemesh makes a point that all these things had to take place to get there. So 49 wasn't a number until we got there. Whatever the progression is, the steps to go from total 0, meaning nothing, not 0, all the way to Torah, there's some progressions have to take place. One is Kriyas Yam Suf, one is the Mun, one's Amalek, one is the water, bitter water, and davening for that. These steps get to Matan Torah. Now, look at the ladder. Is the third step less important than the fifth? Is the eighth less than the fourth? Not really. They're just, maybe one's bigger or smaller, perhaps, but they're all essential to getting to that point. And the Moranayim says exactly this point. We don't judge bigger or smaller. Just these are important steps along the way. First step is that Hashem is there and not Paro. Get them out of the slave mentality. And as we're moving closer, it's away from this huge, monumental, once in a lifetime changing event to living with Hashem. 40 years, day and day, being relying on Hashem. All my needs, God's in charge of it. Not too much, not a little, a certain amount, and that's what I'm satisfied. And that's what the Moranayim says. That not one is bigger, one smaller, but each one is really essential in that progress. And he says, which is interesting, never thought of that. Just 50 days. From nothing to 100, 50 days, meaning they got to the place where they were like Malachim. They didn't have to die. They were totally pure, getting the Torah, hearing Hashem, Kamash, sing the Shekhinah. From 0 to 50. How many of us in 50 days or 50 years we can't get there? But the game plan from Mitzrayim there, these were essential steps along the way. And that's the Parsha. That's the Parsha. With that, Shabbat Shalom. And it's about 12:30 at night, and I'm heading to bed. Shabbat Shalom.